Uh, we do have, I do have some updates regarding the Sophie situation. And I, first off, I'll go ahead and say that I have been in contact with John, Michael's dad, Sophie's grandpa. Very nice guy. And he reached out to me after my last live and emailed me, and we have been exchanging emails and discussing things. But that's not all, actually. Now, I don't know where she went. She was back. There she is. So Nicole H, one of my moderators, she spoke directly with a detective, and in order to not flood him or his department with calls, we're going to keep his name anonymous, and we're going to keep the department in which he belongs to anonymous, because like I said, I don't want the objective here is to keep Sophie safe, guys. The objective here is we, our concern is and should be Sophie's safety. And so now I'm in this. So any information I'm going to get that's not going to obstruct anything, obviously, I'm going to share with you guys. So, and I'm going to give a shout out to my mods real quick, because I know they're going to be working hard. So I appreciate you guys in advance. I'm going to go ahead and bring Nicole H on right now. Hey, Nicole, how are you? I believe you're muted still.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, great. Sorry, you're not too loud for me, but I want to make sure, guys. Can you guys hear Nicole? Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Nicole, say something so that they know.
Hi, guys.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you okay. So if I can hear you, I'm sure they can too. All right, so you messaged me and gave me some details, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to explain what this detective told you. And like I said, I want to keep his name and the department that he belongs to anonymous. So like I said, we don't need to flood him with phone calls. So go ahead and explain what this officer shared with you today.
Okay, so he said that Sophie is considered missing. There is a missing persons report out on her. The investigator also said that while she is considered missing, she is not considered to be in danger. The investigator stated that since the report was made in their jurisdiction, what will happen is if Michael brings Sophie into any local law enforcement agency or, where the report was made to, then they can just check on Sophie, see if she's okay, and he and Sophie will leave there free and clear. There is nothing criminal against him right now. That will happen with Collin County. But as of right now, like I said, there's no criminal charges or anything pending against him. And they said that nothing that has to do, like, I want to reiterate here that, like, nothing that happens in their jurisdiction will coincide with what's happening in another county, if that makes sense. And I really want to keep this clear with you guys. She is not in danger. So we need to make sure that we keep that narrative, because I feel that saying that she's in danger could put her at more risk. And I'm not saying so much for as Michael, but as far as other people. So
well, right, because you got people, you got very impressionable people who listen to trash YouTube channels, and take misinformation to heart. And in my opinion, that in itself is an act of irrationality. So I have to assume that the people who listen to this garbage are capable of being capable of irrational behavior. So I just want to make sure, and that's what you're up here doing, is making sure that you understand that gray area. Just because missing just means they don't know where she is. That's the issue. So basically what you're explaining to me is that this, and not in so many words, that this detective is basically saying that they just want to confirm her wellness. So instead of a wellness check where they show up to somebody's house, it's a question of they want him to bring her in. And, since he has legal custody, he hasn't broken any laws. They just want to reassure other family members that Sophie is safe and fine, basically.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, so that's basically what we've been saying for the most part. So technically the term missing applies according to this officer, but not in the sense that she's been being painted out to be by these idiot channels.
Right.
So they have no reason to believe. Did he basically say to you, and how did he say it to you? If he said that they don't believe that Michael is in any way a danger to Sophie, did he basically say that?
Yes. So I made the comment that I was concerned about, outsiders more than I was about Michael. And he said, well, we don't believe that she's in any danger with him. So he, all he needs to do is just wherever he's at, just take her to a local law enforcement, or come back to, the county that it was reported in, and just show them that Sophie's okay, that he's okay, and they will leave free and clear. Sophie will leave with him.
Yeah, like so let me explain, because Milwaukee Larry is actually asking a question directly, because I'm referring to this as kind of a gray area between her just being perfectly, there's nothing that nobody's talking about, and her being missing and in danger. There's a gray area here, which is where we're at. So I want to address Milwaukee Larry and explain that, because he's saying the glare. Wait, the detective said he has custody of her. Then how can she be missing? The police can't make someone check in when they are with their own child legally. No problem, right? No problem. Rights violation. Danielle Eagle Smith, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So the the issue here, to address Milwaukee Larry, because that's a great question, actually. The problem is, and it's not a problem, I shouldn't word it like that. To answer your question, yes, he has current custody of Sophie, but Kelly also has legal rights. I mean, it's her daughter. So Kelly has rights, and she has the right to know where her daughter is. I mean, if a woman were to take off with a child, then, you know, the father has the right to know where this woman took off with his child. So the same applies the other way around. So absolutely, I don't see. I get that she has a right to know where Sophie is, and that's why she is considered missing, classified as missing, but not in any danger. All they're asking for is for him to verify that she's safe and fine for the other family members' peace of mind. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention is and by the way, Nicole, when you speak, if you could, people in chat are saying you don't sound too clear. So if you could move your mic closer to your mouth, that would be a lot. It would be very helpful. Okay. But another thing here. So I've been in contact with John Long. He's actually texting or sending me emails as we speak, and explaining certain things. And I don't imagine that he would be emailing me in particularly unless he wanted me to share what he's sharing with me. So first of all, Alyssa and or John, they are not currently with Michael. So I want to be clear about that. I want to squash that rumor. It's just, as far as we know, it's just Michael and Sophie. They have, and according to what you mentioned, they do believe to be out of the state at the moment. I'm not going to say which state, but they do believe to be out of the state at the moment. Now, if she was in danger, I would be absolutely blasting her pick on here. If this officer confirmed that she was in danger in any way, shape, or form, then we would be blasting her pick on here. We would be blasting her description. We would be saying anything as far as what would lead to their whereabouts so that anybody could keep a lookout. But at this time, right now, what we're dealing with is a child who's with her custodial parent, and she is not believed to be in any danger at all whatsoever. But the other custodial parent, because she does have some custody over Sophie, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. But she is concerned about Sophie's well-being and her whereabouts. She has a right to know where she is. I believe that she has a right to know where she is. So I'm, if Michael is hearing this, I implore you to please at least just do what the officer says. Check in. He has basically guaranteed that you're just going to walk out of there free and clear. They can't take her from you. And basically what that indicates to me also, Nicole, is that everything that we heard from Courtney was just lies. I mean, if he's ordered to give her up, then he wouldn't make that guarantee. This officer wouldn't make that guarantee, would he? I mean, I don't think so.
Well, the officer did state, and can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. What the officer did say is again, he didn't know any of the stuff from the other county. He knew that there was a case in another county, but it would be up to that jurisdiction or that court to follow up with anything with that case.
Now, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. So I'm going to agree with you. I think he just said that Michael would if he would just show up, and let them see Sophie, that they would be free and clear to leave, and then anything else would be up to the other county.
Okay. Now let me address something in chat here. Allison S is saying receipts would be nice. Let me be clear about something. I'm not charged with the responsibility of sharing any receipts here. I'm not the one who went live saying that she was missing and in danger and that Michael went crazy. I didn't do that. I think that it's on them to produce those receipts. What I'm doing is I'm sharing with you the information that I gathered, and that I gathered through Nicole, because Nicole, I've never known her to be a liar, and she has no reason that I can imagine why she would just be making this up. And like I said, for the sake of Sophie's safety, because we don't know what Michael will do moving forward. We don't know what his intentions actually are necessarily. But we don't have any reason to believe that they are of ill intent, other than, whatever personal crap is going on between him and his ex. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to have this guy. He was kind enough to share information. So I'm not going to have you guys flood his office with calls and flood his voicemail. I'm just not going to do that. So I'm not, it's not on me to share receipts here. So I'm just going to be honest with you guys about that. And sorry if you don't like it, but that's the actual reason why we're not going to I'm not recording phone calls. I'm not having Nicole record phone calls. And I'm taking everything I'm saying that I'm hearing from John with a grain of salt, but I'm just grateful he's actually reached out to me. But I'm not going to, I can read you some of the emails. The most recent one is him saying that, because explain what this officer said your interaction with John and Jeannie were, Sophie's grandparents on Michael's side.
Okay, so he said that he spoke with Jeannie, and while she was reluctant to cooperate, she spoke with him, and he said that John hung up on him. So
okay. Now I shared your text with him. Mm-hmm. His response, he says that he did not hang up on the officer, that he saw a missed call or something to that effect. Hold on, let me read it. I'm trying to pull all of them up here. Okay, he said he did not hang up on him. He noticed the call came in and did not return it. That's what that's what John says. And as far as Jeannie goes, he says having friends run off the road just after leaving the courthouse was one of the reasons Jeannie was reluctant. After what happened with Frisco, Texas PD, it has become difficult to even trust the law enforcement officers. Remember, Jake is the son of a PD officer and stepson of a detective. What Frisco PD did with Sophie's R kit was very suspicious. There is lots to this story. Yeah, I mean, we all know about that. We all know where I stand on that. But what my response to that would be, then Michael needs to just cooperate and show the court that he's doing everything that is in Sophie's best interest. Because one of the things, I remember when I was going through a custody fight, one of the worst things that you can do in a custody fight is try to trash the other parent, because it looks like you're using the child to get back at the parent. Does that make sense? Yeah. So your best look in a custody disagreement your best look would be that you're trying to preserve your family as much as possible. Yes, you and your ex have irreconcilable differences or whatever, but you don't want to come off like you're trying to keep the child away from that other parent, because that's just a bad look. So what he's doing right now, in my opinion, is not the way it's done. So, this is why I cut myself off from this entire situation, is because I don't see him showing a lot of credibility to the court, and he is the number one person that Sophie has any chance of having any credibility to advocate for. He's the only person with any rights over her besides the mother, which he is accusing of being complacent while she was a victim of SA. No, Susie Q, that's an excellent point. You're absolutely right about that. He was not claiming, but he was claiming abuse. And there was proof of it. But that didn't even come up. You know what I mean? Like that only came up because my son was old enough to decide by Georgia state law. He was already of age to where he could decide who he wanted to live with. And so he had to make a personal statement to the judge, explaining why he wanted to live with me and did not want to live with her. But the ruling ultimately was joint custody, and it's up to my son if he wants to see her. That was the ruling. So I didn't technically win custody over her. It was just my son didn't want anything to do with her. And so the judge ruled that it was up to him whether or not he wanted to see her. Because the purpose of civil court, of family court, the objective in family court is to maintain the family as much as possible, even when there's irreconcilable differences between the parties involved. The idea is the objective of family court is to keep the family together in any way, shape, or form that they can. So it's definitely in Michael's best interest to at least come to some sort of agreement with Kelly, in order to at least show the judge that's his intention. But it's, at the very least, considering this situation and trying to stay on point with this situation, because I'm not going to get into that stuff. I'm merely explaining that the only chance of taking on all these police departments is to get custody of Sophie and make sure that she's safe first and foremost, and then focus on the corruption, or the alleged corruption of these particular court officers and police officers. So let's see. Yeah. So why do you think he was able to? Why do you think that he spoke to you of all people, Nicole? The officer.
Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah.
Okay. So
it's a little low, but I can hear you.
Hold on. All right. So when I called today, I asked for the detective that was in charge of this, and I had to answer a lot of questions before I got through to him. But I expressed my concern because of what was being said on social media, that, there's a lot of people out there that could possibly potentially put, and at this time I was under the impression that John was with Michael. Right. So, I said that could put, Michael and his dad in danger, and then somebody could go off and take Sophie, and it
Well, I
would be
mean, she's a
even
10-year-old girl, so any adult that's caring for Sophie, if they're in danger, then that automatically by default puts her in danger.
right. Um, you know, um, and if what was being said about Michael on social media was true, that he was, mentally unstable, then I felt that she could have possibly been unsafe, and I explained that to the officer, and then that's when he said, um, all the information that I told you. So, um, you know, I and that's been my standpoint, on this thing since we started this again, is let's find out for sure if one, she is seriously in danger, but let's also keep the focus that you guys, like, if she's not in danger, let's not put her in danger. So
Right.
Michael, if you hear me, buddy, just go to your local law enforcement wherever you are, and just
Dude, or call in. Like I sent, he John said that Michael needed my number. So apparently, now I'm going to go ahead and admit here, guys, according to that, according to John, based on what he's saying, if Michael's asking for my number, then I don't think that he's been receiving my texts. So somebody was actually checking those texts, and the number that I had for him, I was sending texts to and voice messages to. But apparently, if he's asking for my number, then he has not been receiving my texts. But I did share the StreamYard link with his dad, and I also shared a number that he could reach me at, and told him that he could also contact me via Facebook Messenger. We've communicated via Facebook Messenger many times, him and I. So I'm available. If Michael's listening, I'm available. But I think that you owe the people it was your actions that made this public in the first place. So I think that the least you could do is assure the people that are listening right now. And I don't think whether or not it was your actions, well, clearly it was, according to this officer, but you, hold on, sorry. But you absolutely did this. If you're not cooperating with Sophie's mom or other family members, then the bottom line is she's concerned, and now that Sophie is a very public name, and her situation is very public thanks to you. I think the least you could do is reassure everyone here that she is fine, because you got all of us caring about Sophie. You did that. So the least you could do is reassure us all that she's fine and that she's safe, because now we're all concerned for Sophie. Now, if this officer says that she's not in any danger, I believe that. I personally don't. To address everybody listening right now, I personally have never gotten any indication from Michael that he could be a danger to his own children. Never gotten any indication of that whatsoever. So I don't believe that Sophie's in any danger at all. But I do think that because this has gotten to the point to where it's gotten, the least he could do, the decent thing to do, would be to reassure everyone that he got caring about Sophie.
right. I wanted to address, there was somebody in the chat, Lissa, I think that's her name. She asked why everybody is calling police if they don't have any credible information. Again, I want to relate that I wanted to contact them and just say, hey, I was concerned about what was being said on social media and how to stop it.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So that makes perfect sense as to why he, because he was trying to, he's with you on the sense that social media, and there are some of us on social media that are trying to keep this under control, trying to create boundaries here to keep it contained to a certain degree. And so it was nice that he recognized that and wanted to help us do that.
So, and I kind of want to say too, it isn't just YouTube. And I made the mistake of doing this, but I joined some of the Facebook groups, and they are running rampant with so much speculation and so much um, hearsay that they're proclaiming as facts. And, it just needs to stop, because it's putting a 10-year-old little girl at risk. So I just feel that, number one, I think that Michael needs to just, sorry, that Michael just needs to, you know, take Sophie in and, just let it be known that she's safe, and behind the scenes work it out with the other county, and, explain his reasoning or his thinking or whatever he's doing. And everybody on social media needs to go back to not talking about this, because she is technically with a parent. She is not missing, like, nobody knows where she is.
Right.
Somebody
I mean,
knows exactly where she is.
right. Yeah, yeah. Let me address this comment real quick. No gag either. No gag order would stop any mom who's worried for their kids. I completely agree with you. And she's saying kind of hostily, make up your mind. Is she in danger or not? We just said 100 times that she's not in danger. Nicole's statement just now just assured that she's not in danger. She's with a custodial parent. As far as the courts are concerned, that's what she is. Let me read this. Sorry, I'm getting some messages here. And yeah, according to John, also, according to Sophie's grandfather, hold on a second. Let me go. Let me check something real quick, Nicole. Please elaborate a little bit more on your conversation with this gentleman.
Okay. So, like I said, like my whole last night after his live with whatever her name is, I kind of got to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna call and see what they tell me. And I already was under the assumption that I might not.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm getting some messages, so I have to check on them here and there. I apologize for the dead air, guys. Pumpkinhead, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see. Thank you for putting some common sense out here, Will and team. Yeah, let me bring Nicole back on. I want to go ahead and thank you so much for going through the trouble that you did. And actually getting some confirmation, and what's beautiful about that is, like, you were just honest. You didn't manipulate the guy in any way, shape, or form. You were telling him exactly what our objective here is, and it's to try to contain the speculation and rumors going on about this family, and it's a personal family issue, really. There's nothing criminal happening, and so, that detective seems to be a good-hearted gentleman who seems to just want to help out with that in any way that he could. So thank you for reaching out to him and getting those answers.
You're welcome.
But yeah, we will talk later. I'm going to let you go ahead and join chat. Thanks so much again, Nicole. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right. Yeah, guys. So Danielle Sky, Eagle Smith, no gag order would stop me. Again, thanks, Will and Nicole. I agree. That's what I'm saying is I don't even think that these YouTubers who are saying that she's in danger believe that she's in danger. I don't even believe Kelly believes that Sophie's in danger. So that's where I'm at. So, like I said, I don't think a gag order would stop anybody. No parent that loves their kids, and I believe that Kelly loves her all her kids. I have no reason to believe that she doesn't. Unless considering if we're considering the allegations are not true. Now, considering those allegations are true, then yes, of course, I question whether or not she actually cares about her kids, to say the least. But my issue is with the system. I don't know if these things are fact or not. I don't know if Sophie is a victim of SA. Do I believe her? Absolutely. Do I think that law enforcement should believe her? Absolutely. Do I think that they did their due diligence in order to make sure and get answers? No, I don't. So my issue is with the system. My issue is that there has not been a thorough investigation that has taken place in order to investigate Sophie's claims. So that's my issue. What I'd like to know is I'd like to have confirmation. I'd like to find out that it's not true. If I'm being completely honest, I'd like to find out that it's not true. I would just like a thorough investigation to take place to assure us that it's not true. I'd like to find out that Michael is just using her to get back at his ex. I'd love to find out that it's just something that simple. I'll take that over her being a victim of SA any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't. Do I think it sucks? Either way, of course. But I'll take parental alienation over SA any day of the week. If I had to choose between the two, and unfortunately, that's where we're at. It's one or the other. Let's face it. Kimberly Hensley, thank you. I appreciate you. I'd love to find out that that's the case. But what we need reassurance that the system helps these kids. I remember I did a live with Siren Jag, and Siren Jag at the time did some deep digging as to the process of the system and what takes place in order to investigate these things. And what he uncovered was shocking. Basically that the police actually benefit from not looking into these things deeply. And I don't know if I even kept that live up because I took down pretty much everything involving that situation because I just don't see. I think that in order for change to happen, in order for an investigation to thoroughly take place, somebody credible has to be an advocate for Sophie, and that person being her dad. And unfortunately, his actions are not showing a lot of credibility on his end, and that concerns me. And it concerns us all. But unfortunately, our hands are tied and there's nothing that we can do. None of us have any rights over Sophie. We have to count on the people who do. And that's why I separated myself from the situation. Okay, Bosco Monster. That's not intentional. That's not intentional. Okay. I have major ADHD. So I get sidetracked real easy. I apologize, but I will get into that stuff. Navy Jet, thank you so much. Let's see. Sometimes a mother is complicit when a child is being SA'd. If the child does tell they're not believed, then where do they turn? It's a life sentence for that child. I completely agree. And that's why I speak very, very candidly and openly against any type of child abuse. That's why I cover missing kids cases. That's why I cover cases where children unfortunately met their demise by a parent. And it's due to the system failing those kids. I mean, we all know about the Gabriel Fernandez case, and that is clearly a case of the system failing him. Tom Riddle, well said. The glare of this is the difference between truth and fact. I do believe that Sophie's truth could be that she was a victim, even if that isn't a fact. Absolutely. Well said. I couldn't agree more. Now let me get back to I'm only gonna read the ones that, let's see. So starting with John says he is not with us, because I of course said, so he's not with you. Can you confirm whether or not there is a warrant or whether or not he's on the run with Sophie? John says he is not with us. I do not know where he is on purpose, so I don't have to lie. So he wants plausible deniability, because I mean, I think this even indicates that he's not sure what Michael's intentions are moving forward. So he's saying he is trying to buy some time for the court filings, which is what I've been saying this entire time. So the motive here is to buy time for court filings. And those court filings, there's a grace period for these court filings. Even if the court rules against his filings, he has a grace period after the fact of 14 to 20 days. So currently he's not in violation of the law, people. He moves on to say Sophie is safe. She won't be if she goes back to that environment, referring to Kelly's environment. We have lived with her for a year in our home. So many things have been exposed during that time. By the way, she is getting straight A's in her studies, and she has her own room and privacy in our home. He says, don't know if there is a warrant. I understand there is a missing persons for Sophia that has been posted. She is not in danger with Michael. We would not support him if that was the situation. And I believe him. He says Michael is stable and the psych report was biased against him, and we have documented proof of that. Now, like you guys, I would like to see that proof. But this is coming from John. The corruption in the case has been crazy, he says. He says Michael has mentioned about going live. Not sure if and when. Okay, so Michael has been, according to John, Michael has been vocal about tossing around the idea of going live. I don't know if he intends to come on this channel or if he intends to start his own channel and go live. I don't know what he plans on doing. And I ask him, can you send me that proof? I'm happy to share the information. Is Michael planning on running with Sophie? I think it would set a lot of minds at ease if he reached out to the public to assure Sophie's well-being and safety. And he goes on to say, I don't have the proof with me. The psychologist has a reputation for doing this and was selected by the court. Michael's photos of all 1,000 questions, and Michael has photos of all 1,000 questions and answers. The psychologist didn't know that. He stated things opposite of how Michael answered. Michael can fill you in. He is not running, but laying low. Now, again, guys, you got to keep in mind that this is coming from Michael's dad. So he's definitely has a bias here, but I'm choosing to believe him. Okay. I'm choosing to believe him to a certain degree. Like I said, I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but what I'm keeping in mind is that he cares for his granddaughter very, very much. So I'm hearing a man that is acting on behalf of his grandchild. That's what I choose to believe. You guys are free to believe whatever you want, and I don't blame you for believing whatever you want. Honestly, I see a lot of people saying huge bias. Yeah, for sure. Of course, it's huge bias. But also don't just keep in mind that he's Michael's dad. Keep in mind also that he's Sophie's grandfather. Now, I'm not a grandfather. I don't know, but the grandparents that I know love their grandkids and adore their grandkids. And I would even say favor their grandkids over their own children for the most part. Most of them that I know anyway, I would dare to say. I said, I think it would be best if he contacted me directly or at least made a public statement. And then I forwarded him the message that Nicole sent, and he says, Michael needs your phone number, which I shared with him everything. And sorry, guys, that's my text tone. Yeah, I'm a big Law and Order fan. So you're not hearing me watching that in the background, and I'm not doing it for effect. That's my text tone. So that's all that I have. I've already shared with you my entire exchange with John. Yeah, I mean, this is a situation that has gotten completely out of hand. I'm of the personal opinion that none of us should even know about this because Sophie is not in danger. The only reason that this would involve any of us is if Sophie was in direct danger, which according to Michael's grandfather, according to this police officer that Nicole spoke with directly, and I personally confirmed. I personally confirmed this officer's existence myself. And I'm actually waiting for him to return my call. I'm hoping that he will return my call because I need to. Yeah, Sophie's grandfather. Yeah, sorry, Nicole H. I got a lot on my mind, man. I'm trying to juggle a lot. So yeah, I just I mean, I'm nobody, so he might not even get back to me. But I believe that any law enforcement agency, if they believe that Sophie was in danger, then they would encourage us to spread the information in order to get people to share any information that could lead to her whereabouts. But they are not even looking. They're not even looking for her. That's the whole point. Is they're not even. You know, there's not even. You know, at best there's a be on the lookout, but they're not out searching. You know what I mean? And they are believed to be in another state. I won't mention which state, but they are believed to be in another state. And I think at this point, what we need to do, the responsible thing to do is, unless Sophie comes up as being endangered, then we need to just let this family work out this situation on their own. We can't do anything about the police corruption in their case right now until this is resolved. And so we need to allow the people involved to resolve this. And then we can think about taking on a corrupt police department, because until then, I mean, again, none of us have any rights over Sophie. There's nothing that any of us can really actually do about it. So, and by the way, just so you know, this particular police department is very separate from the police department in question. So I absolutely have no reason to not trust this police department and how they're handling the situation. Just like the Summer Wells case, even though this is very different because Sophie's not missing or in danger. There's not been an Amber Alert put out. So, you know, we need to let law enforcement do their jobs. And the way that they're choosing to handle this is, let's just hope that Michael brings her in to a local agency from or wherever he is. He's not going to be detained. Sophie's not going to be taken from him. He's still technically a custodial parent. So he's going to be free to walk out with her. All they're asking him to do is confirm that she's safe and okay for the sake of her other loved ones. And I don't think that there's any reason for any of us to even dwell on this anymore, because it's pointless. Honestly, it's absolutely pointless. I thought, I still stand by it. I think that Katie Joy, without a crystal ball, going live the way that she did was completely and totally irresponsible. That potentially puts Michael in danger. And since he is the one caring for Sophie at the moment, then that would indirectly put her in danger. So I think that what she did was completely and totally irresponsible. I think that anybody who listens to her and gives her any credibility should rethink. They should question whether or not this person is credible in any way, shape, or form. I'm fully understanding why so many people on YouTube and on Twitter speak out against this woman, because I think that she's awful. You know, I mean, ignorant to the point of being dangerous. Let's just call a spade here. Ignorant to the point of being dangerous. And when you look at the people that she attracts, like the person that I was streaming yesterday, and I was going over her live stream, I mean, that just showing her lack of credibility the way that I did should tell you everything that you need to know if Without a Crystal Ball is endorsing someone like that. That should tell you everything you need to know. We don't need to be talking about these people until there's a criminal investigation taking place. We need to leave these people alone. We need to let them work out their personal differences and leave them alone. Period. And then we can worry about the criminal aspect of things. But since there's not a criminal investigation taking place, there's nothing that we can do, people. All we can do is harm. Sorry, I'm just looking over chat, guys. Yeah, I know. I know how I know. But my position has not changed. My position has not changed in the slightest bit. My position remains exactly the same as it did when I dropped this situation and I stopped talking about it. Uncovering Hypocrisy, thank you so much. Thanks, mods. Please continue to whack a troll. But yeah, my position has not changed on this. I dropped this case because Michael lost credibility with the public due to his actions. And if he lost credibility with the public, well, it's fair to assume that he lost credibility with the courts. Now, apparently that hasn't been the case just yet, but this situation ain't helping. So I'm not going to blow a bunch of hot air and you know, I'm not going to wear myself out banging my head up against the wall trying to do something that can't be done. Because there's nothing that any of us can do about that right now. The only chance that Sophie has is with her dad. That's the only chance that she has. If his allegations against Kelly are true, then the only chance that she has is her dad. And if he's blowing it, well, what can we do? Nicole H, man, I don't super chat me, man. You have already done so much already. Please encourage Michael to bring Sophie in. The missing persons report will go away and Sophie will leave with him free and clear. Yes. Yes. Ellie, shut up. Hold on here. Thank you, Cherry K. Yeah, stupidity will not be tolerated here, just to let you know. Stupidity just won't be tolerated. I have no patience for sheer stupidity. Those of you who know me and known me a while, you guys know this about me. I have no patience for just utter ignorance and sheer stupidity. Having a different opinion is one thing, but just expressing sheer stupidity, I don't have the patience for. Nobody's saying that facts don't matter, Susie Q. I'm not in disagreement with you. But if Sophie's in danger and people are saying that Sophie's in danger, well, they're the ones, those people are the ones who are charged to present evidence of that. We have to assume that she's not in danger because there has not been, let's just say that Nicole didn't speak to a police officer. Let's just say that John did not email me. Let's just say that that's the case, right? Again, we don't have any information. Those court records are sealed. All you're hearing is the root of this comes from the word of a scorned ex. Yes, I'm saying she's scorned. She has a right to be scorned. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying, though, is that we're hearing from someone who has an emotional bias to this entire situation. She's the one who made this post. Courtney made this post. So, okay, Susie Q, I appreciate that. Courtney made this post, and without any facts, without any verification, without a crystal ball, went live with over 1,000 people in her chat saying that this little girl was in danger, which inadvertently puts her in danger when she's not actually in danger. That's irresponsible. It's completely irresponsible. It's completely reckless. And it was out of sheer greed. Sheer greed. Because if a child is missing and she's in danger, then what you do is you post her picture and you post her description. She posted some BS homemade little thing by some idiot named Tim, which I'm using as a thumbnail for this. And that's why I blotted out her picture. I scrubbed that out because she's not in danger. That would be an invasion of her privacy. That would be an invasion of Michael's privacy because technically, and I know what you're thinking, well, he did this to himself. Yeah, I agree with you. But the bottom line is that if you're invading his privacy, you're invading her privacy. That's just the way that is, whether you like it or not. So no matter what you feel about Michael, since she is in his care right now, then you have to just let them be. That's the right thing to do. Period. End of story. And I agree with you, Dutch. I completely agree with you. Completely. Chill vibes. That has yet to happen. What if Dad snaps out over it? Seriously, there's so many things that could go wrong. But what good does it do anybody to concern ourselves with that? He's not giving anybody indication that he's capable of hurting anyone. What good does that do anybody to assume that? Guys, keep your eyes out for that Toyota Tacoma truck. Cherry K's about to post that information regarding the Summer Wells case. That is what we should be concerned about. That is what we should be talking about. We should be focused on finding Summer Wells in this community. That is what we should be focused on, not this crap. The pickup is possibly a 1998 to 2000 maroon or red Toyota Tacoma with a full bed ladder rack along with white buckets in the truck bed. This truck is wanted for questioning because they are potentially a witness, according to the sheriff in charge of this case. So, guys, leave the Longs alone. Stay out of their business. Let them work out this personal issue in the courts, and then we can start worrying about taking on a corrupt law enforcement agency, okay? I'll be right there with you. I promise. I promise. All right, guys, I'm going to call it. I love you very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.